Are you curious how men view pineapples on an emotional level? Would a better understanding of what men are feeling help you stop and I tried to do the intro again. Okay, I'm gonna do the intro one more time. Okay, let's do it again. All right, we're gonna do the intro for the people who are gonna rewatch this again. All right, no worries. All right. Are you curious about how men view pineapples? Would a better understanding of what men are feeling stop you from being so horribly confused by everything men do? Well, here's your answer. Today, we'll discuss 7 concepts on how men view pineapples on an emotional level that will drastically transform your ability to have a successful relationship with any man you so choose. Okay, welcome back to you guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Like I say, it's just me, unfortunately. So I hope you guys can hear me better now. I hope everything sounds good now. I hope there's going to be no mistakes for the rest of the show. Even if there is, it's okay. We're here together, getting through it together. All right, so no intro anymore. Let's get started. So first we were talking about motivation. So as I was saying before, men are motivated by their internal hunger for pineapples. For those of you who don't know, pineapples in this show means sex. We just like to be sensitive for the sensitive platforms, okay? It subconsciously has them taking action, whether directly or indirectly, in particular ways that eventually satisfy that desire for pineapples and love, okay? So very important. Let's come to an understanding as it relates to motivation. Motivation is not just, for you, your motivations are going to be slightly different than a man's motivations. Why? Because we're built differently. We evolve differently for different reasons. That's all good and dandy. But if you don't understand what men's motivations are and why they exist, then you won't really understand the emotion associated with the process of having pineapples with you and what happens afterwards emotionally, okay? Because I want to break all of that down. Now, when we're talking about motivation, whether or not a man is celibate, whether or not he's participating in a lot of pineapples or he's not participating in a lot of pineapples, it does not matter. He still has that same desire. He still has that same hunger, which we'll refer to both of those a little bit later in detail, but those still exist inside him as long as he's hormonally regular. You know what I mean? There's nothing going wrong with him. That's how we evolved, simply because the men who didn't have that motivation, didn't have that hunger, didn't have that desire to pursue pineapples, they died off. Okay. They died off simply because they didn't procreate and because they didn't have the desire to. They didn't have the hunger to get up and actually do it. So they didn't end up producing more offspring, and their lineage ended there. Okay, so I want you to understand the only men that ended up living on are the men who constantly have that internal motivation. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. But I want you to understand that even in that motivation, it presents itself in different ways, in different shapes, and in different forms. But you're always going to see action from us men based on that internal motivation. So let me give you an example of how that internal motivation can present itself in different ways. If I'm sitting on the couch and I'm thinking to myself, damn, I like these video games, but even better than playing a lot of video games and leveling up in my favorite video game would be getting in some Squirtle. I really, really want to get in some Squirtle. Now, let's pretend dating apps don't exist, right? For most men, before the dating apps, they would have to say to themselves, okay, well, now I want Squirtle. I'm going to have to actually get up off of my couch, put down the video game controller, and I'm going to have to go out with my friends to a bar or a club, meet some girls, talk to some girls, be interesting, be charismatic, be funny, tell some jokes, tell some pickup lines, and maybe I might have a shot at getting a little bit of Squirtle that night. Okay, but I want you to understand, why did he take that action in the first place to actually put down the controller, get up off his couch, go get ready, go make himself look nice, brush his teeth. He hasn't brushed his teeth in a couple days, get out of bed, wipe the nut stains off of his pants and put his nice pants on and go out and meet you and try to be funny and interesting. That was all motivated by his internal desire and hunger to satisfy himself with pineapples. Okay, if he didn't have that, we wouldn't all all be here, because that internal motivation is what gets those lazy men, even the laziest of lazy men, up to actually do something and be someone in order to get that satisfied. Is that making sense to you guys so far? Right? And the reason I bring up motivation is because it's a very important emotion that men are feeling on a consistent basis. That is part of the process of how this goes from start to finish. How he ends up in your face telling you jokes and being nice to you, being interesting, right? Starts off with that internal motivation that he feels to actually get the thing. Okay? So, another way, another version of that motivation presenting itself in an indirect way would be, let's say you're at work and you have a coworker. I'm your coworker. I'm your amazing coworker. We work in the same building, and I'm on your team, and I'm constantly always coming over to your desk to chit chat with you, talk to you about nonsense, laugh with you, joke to you. I'm always trying to tell the most jokes. I'm always a comedian when I come to your cubicle and talk to you, and we have conversations for at least an hour each day, just talking about this, talking about that, talking about life. And I make a consistent effort to always come to your cubicle every day and have a conversation with you. While that might seem innocent in itself, right? Just having casual conversation, not talking about anything inappropriate, the motivation hidden behind that is my internal desire to elicit pineapples out of women that I'm attracted to. So even if I'm not prepared to necessarily act on it, or I'm in a relationship or you're in a relationship, and for whatever other reasons, neither of us or me or you can't act on that desire, that internal desire still motivates me to actually get up out of my cubicle and go and speak to you at work every single day and have a conversation with you at work every single day, and actually care enough to be presentable, actually care enough to be interesting, actually care enough to be funny and charismatic to you when I speak to you every single day. That internal motivation, that action is not taken for no reason. Okay, I want you guys to come to that understanding as well, right? When men are taking action upon you, even in ways that don't seem very pineapple-y charged, I want you to still understand the fact that they find you attractive means that the actions they're taking towards you are indirectly pineapple-y charged. That doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing. I just want you to understand where that comes from and the emotions that flow through him naturally when he's interested in you and attracted to you. Okay, so that's number one. We have to get through the motivation. Now, in the process of motivation, I talked to you about two things. I talked to you about desire and I talked to you about hunger. Okay, so desire doesn't come from what women do for us. I've told you about this before. Right? Desire is not about how you can get on your hands and knees and start scrubbing the floor and, be in your maid outfit and say, hey, isn't this so amazing how I scrub the floor and I'm the best wife ever? Although that sounds a little bit like role play, but assuming it's not role play, right? You getting on your hands and knees and scrubbing the floor in your maid outfit is not making us desire you anymore. And in fact, the less you do to try to make yourself the most desirable, and the more you invest in yourself, that's actually when you become the most desirable and the most attractive, right? Because our subconscious hunger, right, and attraction is always towards the women who are investing the most amount of energy in themselves. Are you guys following me so far? Okay, it's all about how you can invest that time and that energy into yourself. Okay, want to make sure we're all on the same page. You guys still with me on TikTok? I know we came back. I just wanted to make sure everything's good for you guys on TikTok as well. You still with me on TikTok? Right? So important that you understand that desire is not about what you can do for me. It's actually more about what you can do for yourself. And that's when I'm going to desire you most. So for example, right, a girl who doesn't take care of herself, doesn't take care of her hygiene, doesn't take care of her skin, hair, nails, nothing, doesn't even upkeep her own internal life, doesn't work on herself, doesn't try to grow in anything, just lazy, doesn't do anything, nothing, okay, for herself. Versus a girl or a woman who takes care of herself, takes care of her takes care of her appearance, goes to the gym, right? Takes care of her skin, all that good stuff, works on herself. A lot of hours invested in herself. She paints, she does art, she goes out to events, right? All this good stuff. She chases her passions. All of these hours in the day, so heavily focused on herself, what she thinks, what she wants, how she feels. All of that energy goes into her. Those are the women who end up having the most confidence. Those are the women who end up having the most attractive aura. Those are the women who we as men desire the most. And desire is one of the strongest, most intense emotions when it comes to the lead up of pineapples happening. Okay? Right? That's all. That desire is what stimulates that hunger, because we have the natural hunger, but it's stimulated when we actually desire a woman. Okay? And we actually desire a woman when she is investing the most into herself, that we can in turn find her attractive. Okay? Very important. So I know that when we talk about desire a lot, and we're always talking about what the men want and what they need and what they find attractive, your mind can start going in places where you're thinking about how you can scrub the floor better, that he'll want you more. When in reality, even though we're talking about what men want, what they find attractive, it's really about what you can do more for yourself. And I promise you, if you do more for yourself, the men will take notice of that and take notice of you, and they will be doing everything that you're looking for them to do. Actually, you won't even have to ask them to do it. They'll just come out of the woodworks begging you to sniff your butthole just for a couple seconds. Okay? So this is part of the lead up. These are the emotions that we're feeling leading up to the thing, leading up to the event of it, right? These are part of the things that are steering us in particular directions and motivating us to take particular actions, to even say particular things or approach you in a particular way. This is what it's stemming from, that motivation, right? And in turn, with that motivation, we have the desire specifically for the women that we find the most attractive. And like we just discussed, the women we find the most attractive are the ones who are investing the most into themselves. Think about your favorite man's IG model, or your favorite man's OF model, or your favorite man's whatever model, your favorite man's celebrity crush, your favorite man's women. That's not you. It's probably not you. Your favorite man's woman is most heavily investing into herself. Meanwhile, you're the one chasing after him, which is why he is not attracted or doesn't desire you as much as he desires his celebrity crush. That's the difference. You're investing more into him than you do yourself, when your man's favorite celebrity crush is investing more into herself than she is him. It's just the nature of the game, as weird as it sounds, right? So motivation, then we have desire. Next, we have hunger, okay? Now, hunger is still leading up to the process and the emotions that we feel when we're in the process of having pineapples with you, okay? Or leading up to that. So hunger is very high when we first meet a woman, right, that we like or find desirable. And because we don't know you at that point, your approach determines if it increases drastically or decreases drastically. Now, I want us to pause there. Okay? I don't know if you've ever heard of the shiny new toy. I don't even want to call it a theory. But have you ever noticed that guys seem to be, let me know in the chat, have you ever noticed that guys seem to me be the most heavily interested in you when you're brand new? Let me know in the chat. When you just meet them, do you find generally that the guys are the most interested in you when they first meet you, and then it's, for whatever reason, right after that, it just seems to go downhill? Okay. The reason I ask you that is because there is, I guess we could call it the shiny new toy theory, but it's kind of the idea that men mostly, right, their peak of their interest is right when they don't know you and you're a new hot commodity that they can get to know and discover more about, which is why you're the most interesting at that point. You're also inherently the most mysterious at that point when I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I don't know where you're from. I don't know what you're like, right? All I have is my imagination and obviously what you look like. So you might have a big, huge dump truck and some voluptuous yiddies. That's all I have to go by in terms of knowing anything about you. Everything else is left up to my imagination. And so you become very mysterious, right? Which is why my hunger for you at the very beginning, subsequently my desire for you at the very beginning, is so high. Now, in the process of me getting to know you, in the process of us growing a relationship together, in the process of us dating each other, I'm going to know more about you. You're also going to start to like me back, hopefully. If the relationship's working, you're going to start liking me back. You're going to start having feelings for me as well. You're going to start doing things to show your desire for me as well. Now, in the process of that, unfortunately, sometimes I'm looking at you in the camera, I'm looking at you, you go overboard where you begin chasing me, the man. In the process of you chasing me, the man, you become way less mysterious. Right? You become way less of a thing that I have to discover and actually something that I actively start thinking, how can I see you less? How can I spend less time with you? You're not as magical because you're always here. You are mysterious when I didn't know anything about you. You were mysterious when you were shiny and brand new. Now you're kind of mundane and you're chill. Remember what I always say about chill? You never want guys to be describing you as chill. Why? Because it speaks to the indifference he begins to feel or has started feeling when you're around. And feeling indifferent towards you only means that he doesn't really care if you're there or you're not there. It's just that you're there. You're existing in a way that doesn't affect him or move him emotionally or spiritually whatsoever. And that's not good because that's not what love is. Love is not chill. At least for men. I'll speak for us men. Love is not chill. Love is not relaxed. Love is not a sit back and, if you're here, it's cool. If you're not here, it's still cool. If you do whatever, you can do whatever and everything is whatever. It's all chill, right? If he's really in love with you, it's not chill. Okay? The feeling is not chill. I'm here to tell you the emotions are not chill. The hunger is not chill. Okay? You should never be aiming to be the most chill. You've lost if you're the most chill. You're not trying to be the most chill. You're trying to elicit the most emotion. That's what's actually going to get him invested in you the right way. I know other people talk about financial investment. I talk about emotional investment and figuring out how you can elicit the most emotional investment out of a man. Okay, so your approach is going to change the rate or the amount in which he is interested in you or continues to have that same hunger for you after you initially meet. So you can meet someone and of course you're a shiny new toy, and you can actually continue the mystery on. You can continue the amount that I want to chase after you or pursue you or get to know you more. And you can actually increase my desire for you by changing your approach when I first meet you and playing into the fact that I'm already in heavy pursuit of you at the beginning because I'm the hungriest for you at the very beginning. Right? And if you're playing into that, which is you just sitting back, relaxing, observing, listening, asking questions, receiving all the stuff that we talk about, then my hunger continues to grow for you. And I always feel like even when I get you, it's never enough. And I never feel satisfied or satiated, even if I spend a lot of time with you. But this process of the hunger, it starts high. But even though it starts high, that doesn't mean that the ceiling is the highest it can get, right? Even though it starts high, you can continue getting it to ramp up and ramp up and ramp up to the point where he says, I need so much of you that I either need to make you my wife or my girlfriend. It must happen, right? Because my hunger and my desire for you is so strong. It's so intense. It's so heavy that the only option here for me to get more access to you is to further along our relationship status, that I will be deserving of more and more access to you, right? Because that hunger is not going to get satiated by us just being in a casual friends with benefits. That hunger is not going to get satiated by us just being casual friends in a friend group. That hunger is not going to get satiated by us just going on one date every 3 weeks. That hunger is only going to get satiated if I see you a lot. I see you almost every day, or way more than I am now. We go out on dates. We go out on picnics. I take you to all these places, and I see and hear more of you, and I'm able to be, even if not physically intimate with you, emotionally intimate with you. Does that make sense so far to you guys, right? That's where that hunger is going to play a role. And the hunger, like I mentioned before, right, it comes from that motivation that we naturally feel in terms of trying to go out and have pineapples because, you know, we have that desire to have pineapples. And the type of women that we desire most, or where that motivation shows itself the most, is in the women that we find the most attractive. And how you become the most attractive is by investing more into yourself, right? All of these things play a role in each other. They kind of mix and mingle of each other, okay? Scotty asked, is his hunger insatiable? Well, here's the thing. Yes and no. See, even as men are in a relationship, the hunger never truly gets satisfied or goes away. The hunger only gets channeled into you specifically, right? And so his hunger should be getting satisfied by you, but it never fully stops, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to say it by using words that are sensitive to the platform, okay? Right? So you can satisfy, this is kind of part of the reason, I know it's a little bit of a side note, but this is part of the reason why I talk to you guys so much about fantasies, and about understanding your man's fantasies, and about understanding what his needs are specific for him, and understanding KINKSs and things like that, because those are part of the ways you satiate that hunger that he's naturally going to feel on a consistent basis. Right? Some of you were saying that I think there's a little bit of a glitch because of my internet. If you don't worry, it should resolve itself momentarily. Okay. Right. So hunger. An example of hunger would be when I meet you at a party and I get your number, that I'm so excited about the possibilities and how badly I want to know more about the mystery of you. And as time goes on, you become clingy towards me because you start liking me, you start being interested in me, right? And you give pineapples away easily in the first few weeks, then my hunger drastically decreases for you. Sad face. Okay? My hunger decreases for you because you've given it to me right away, easily. Okay? I know you guys don't want to hear this part because some of you guys are realizing, oh, well, that was a mistake. Or some of you guys realize, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I want you to understand these are part of the emotions that we feel during the process of being with you, even leading up to sleeping with you. And when that hunger that you feel gets satisfied so easily and so quickly, it can make the process of knowing you feel very uneventful, if you know what I mean. Okay? And when I say it can make it feel very uneventful, what I mean by that is you have to understand, if I am meeting you and I desire you a lot because you're the most mysterious when I first meet you, and I'm pursuing you and chasing after you, and I want more of you. I want more of your time. I want more of your focus. I want more of your attention. And that hunger that I feel towards you, not only the hunger, and we'll talk about pineapple for love versus pineapple for pleasure, but you have to understand that hunger is like commingled with also my innate desire to love, but I'm not able to be motivated by love. What I'm motivated by is my desire for pineapples, and my hunger for pineapples. In the process of meeting you, if that gets satisfied too quickly, I then can't continue on the journey of getting to know you and growing my relationship with you, that I eventually discover the love that I was also actually looking for, but was suppressed by the hunger and desire I felt to get pineapples. I know that sounds a little bit complicated. What I basically mean is that, yes, we feel the emotions of love and we want love and we're capable of love as well. What's even more prevalent than that, on top of the love, is our desire for pineapples and to get pineapples, unfortunately. Okay. Now, in the process of me chasing after pineapples and wanting more pineapples, if you approach it the right way and allow me to continue having this hunger, continue having this desire for you, continue being in pursuit of you, being in my masculine energy, all that good stuff, in the process of me pursuing more pineapples, I'm actually going to discover some love here as well. Because in the process of me not necessarily being satisfied, me not necessarily satiating my hunger for you, I'm also going to be getting to know you. I'm also going to be growing my relationship with you. I'm also going to be, if you're doing it right, asking questions, listening, letting him talk about himself, all that good stuff. I'm also going to be growing my emotional connection to you as well. And all of these things that are happening in the process of us building our relationship together is what's going to allow me to discover the feelings of love, even though I was chasing after the feelings of pineapples. Is it still glitching for you guys who are on YouTube? Because if it's glitching for you guys on YouTube, then I really know something's wrong. Okay? Then I know something's very wrong. Let me make sure. Is it still glitching for you guys on YouTube, or is it better now? Let me know. Someone says it's glitching so bad I can't follow what I'm saying. You can't hold on a second. Let me see if this is what's going on here. It's my Wi-Fi. Is it better now? Someone said it's better now. Now it's good? Okay. Okay, I'll try and continue. Right? Ellie says, can he still have hunger after pineapples on the first date? But he asked me for a committed relationship. You say yes and you're committed, but how to keep him chasing you and his hunger for you? Well, okay, I'll answer your first question, Elizabeth. It is very difficult to reverse what has happened if you give him pineapples on the first date. Like you have to understand, all of this stuff is a process, right? So what I mean by it's a process, what I mean is this is something that ramps itself up over time. So yes, he desires you. Yes, he's hungry for you. In the process of him desiring you and being hungry for you, if you're playing your cards right, it's going to consistently increase over time. But you have to understand, it can only be so much based on his first meet of you at the very beginning, because mostly what it's made up of is his physical attraction to you and not really anything real about you. And so he can only desire you so much just simply based off of your huge dump truck or voluptuous yitties. Okay? And that's okay. But I want you to understand, so if his desire can only be so much at the very beginning, well, then now you find yourself in a position where if you're giving it to him right away on the first date or the first meet or the first hangout, right? How can his hunger continue to grow when it's already been satisfied that quickly before he's even gotten a chance to increase it whatsoever? And so to answer your question directly, Elizabeth, in terms of satisfying that hunger, the best way to do that is to, you have to kind of like reverse it. What I mean by reverse it is you kind of have to take that power back that you've given away to him by sleeping with him right away on the first date. And you have to take that power back by pulling yourself back from him and the relationship and letting him come to the realization that he really wants to be with you, that he really wants you, that he really wants to spend time with you. And in the process of that, then he begins to say, I want us to go out here. I want us to date more. I want to see you more. I want to hang out with you more. I want to spend more time with you. Right? Bree says, what if you never give him pineapples? Even better. right? Even better if you never give him pineapples. Why? Because you're continuously keeping his hunger alive for you. I mean, if you're not giving him pineapples, but he's still coming back and he's still being consistent, then you're doing something right. And that's what I want you guys to also understand. I know when we talk about hunger, when we talk about men's desire for you and all that good stuff, some of you get really nervous about not giving it away to him, and he might lose interest in you, or he might stop talking to you, or he might start going to look for another girl because that girl's giving away pineapples and you're boring now. And that anxiety that you feel, for some of you, is what actually motivates you to give yourself away to him very quickly and very easily, because you're scared that if you don't do that right away, or if you don't do that very quickly, then he'll lose interest in you. And in reality, that's not how it works. If he continues coming back and he continues doing the right thing and he continues being consistent with you, even though you're not giving anything to him, just keep that train going. There's no need for you to rush into something simply because you're scared of him losing interest in you, especially if he's showing you that he seems to be here for more than just the squirtle. Okay? Because here's the thing. When it comes to hunger, I talked to you guys about this a little bit earlier. Some of these men are getting their own wires crossed. So they might have the ability to be genuinely interested in you and genuinely like you and want to spend more time with you. But even though they genuinely like you and want to spend more time with you, and want to get to know you more and increase their own desire for you and hunger for you, even in the process of that, if you give yourself away to him too quickly and too easily, he can become what I call complacent. We'll get to complacency right here in a second. He can become complacent because his hunger for you has been satisfied, and now he no longer has that same internal motivation to get to know more about you. This is why I talked about motivation and desire earlier. Because you have to understand, the motivation is not something he can just pull out of thin air. Okay? He can't pull the motivation to get to know you more and grow a relationship with you out of thin air. That motivation only comes through the process of you holding your water, letting him continue to approach you. You continue to receive. You continue to sit back and relax and allow him to pursue. Right? That's when that hunger exists. That's when I'm in my masculine. That's when I'm pursuing you. That's when I'm motivated to get to know more about you and spend more time with you. Okay? But if you give yourself away to me right away or very quickly, well, now I'm thinking, now my reaction, my response is, well, I've gotten kind of what I internally feel like I was here for. I've been satisfied on an emotional level, because there's a satisfaction factor when we finally get the release of being with the girl that we wanted to be with. And that feeling of being like, well, now I don't have the same hunger, I don't have the same motivation, stops us from being able to say, okay, I want to see you more. Okay, I want to spend more time with you. Okay, I want to hang out with you more. And the thing about the saddest part about it is that for us as men, it's hard for us. It's not hard. It's impossible for us to manufacture that motivation, manufacture that desire, manufacture that hunger. Right? Steal My Sunshine asks, what does it mean to internally feel? All feelings are internal. What I mean by internally, when I say internally feel, what I really am referring to, that's a good question, actually. What I really am referring to is that the feeling for men can be so deep rooted in them that it's not something you can actively bring to the surface and say, I feel this because of this. I'm telling you this because that's kind of my skill. But it's very hard for the men to tell you this feeling that they feel because it's so inherent to just who they are. And it's hard to actually describe into words. The feeling of being hungry and having the drive and the motivation to go out and get pineapples is kind of hard to describe. And for you as a woman, it'll be hard for some of you to really grasp and comprehend. I even remember when I talked about this before, when I talked about how men view pineapples on in a different way, and another breakdown in another show. I remember a lot of people commented on that video and they said, this is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you would say that, it's related to hunger, and that, how can you compare food and starvation to someone's desire or drive to get pineapples? It makes no sense. If you're starving and you don't get food, you're going to pass away. You're going to unalive. If you're just wanting to have more pineapples, you're not going to be unalive. You're not going to be pass away. Nothing's going to happen to you. It's not at all the same. You make no sense. This is a horrible channel. You have no idea what you're talking about, right? And some people got really upset. Okay. Some people got really upset at the idea that I would compare the two to each other because they have no comparison. And it doesn't make sense how it can be so intense and so important to a man when it's not the difference between life and death. But what I want you guys to understand is it is that serious for the men. And the reason I describe it like that, and I always use the analogy for food, or I always use the analogy for starvation, is because you have to understand the same way that if you were hungry or starving and you hadn't eaten food for a long period of time, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how far away the food source is. You will get up out of your chair, get up off of your couch. If you got to walk a mile, you'll walk a mile. If you got to walk 3 miles for food, you'll walk 3 miles for food. Whatever you got to do to get access to food, you will do it. It's the same thing for the men. That desire, that hunger that they feel internally to have pineapples becomes so strong and overwhelming, regardless of their situation. They eventually become compelled to go and take action to get those pineapples, to get that pineapple, or squirrel in this case, right? Squirrel is the you, pineapples is the thing. Okay? I want you to understand how intense that feeling is by letting you relate it to starvation. Because it's the same way you can't control the feeling of feeling hungry for food and starving for food is the same way we can't control the feeling of being hungry and starving for pineapples, which is why some men will do some really crazy stuff in the name of pineapples. You ever wonder why men do some really crazy stuff or say some really weird or strange stuff sometimes to you? It's because of pineapples. I'm telling you, that's how strong and compelling that motivation can be and is. Okay? So does that make sense to you guys so far? Scotty asks, would they have pineapples though with someone else? Because you'll take too long to get pineapples. Scotty, I'm glad you asked that question. I kind of answered it earlier, but no. If he's interested in you and you're doing this the right way, allowing him to continue approaching you, continue pursuing you, right? You're giving him access to you, not full access to you, but you're allowing his access to you to grow over time as he continues to push farther and pursue more. His hunger will continue increasing for you to the point where he says, okay, now I need you to be my girlfriend. Okay, you got to be my girlfriend now, or we got to get married now, right? To that point where he comes out of his own motivation, out of his own desire for you. He says, I want you. I want to be in a relationship with you. I need to be in a relationship with you. We need to take this to the next level. That's what's naturally supposed to occur. Instead of you sitting around saying, I know it's been like 3 years where we've been talking and I know that you say that, it's really chill hanging out with me, but 3 years is kind of a long time for me to just sit around and not be a girlfriend. And I was wondering maybe if you were ever considering like asking me to be your girlfriend, because like I'm only getting older and, my eggs are going to begin to start growing crust. And, I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for you to tell me if you actually want to be in a relationship with me, or if it's that you don't really like me that much, because I just feel like 3 years is a long time for us to just be friends with benefits for 3 years. And, we never really go out on any real dates, and I kind of just only see the inside of your room and that's you. That's you. Okay, that's you begging to be a girlfriend instead of his hunger and desire for you, pushing him and motivating him to say, you have to be my girlfriend. I need you to be my girlfriend. It's the only option here. That's where you want him to be. And you're sitting back, you're saying, I don't know if I'm really ready for the relationship. Do I really want us to be in a, please, I'm begging you, right? That's where you want him to be. Not you sitting back, please, I just think that maybe if you could spare me some girlfriend treatment, it would be so nice. I just feel like you don't really care. And I know that you say that you had another girlfriend in the time span that we were kind of talking, but I know you said it was a mistake, but like, I was just hoping maybe, out of the time that you had, maybe you could spare some time for me to be your girlfriend. It's ridiculous. And some of you are in that situation. And I know some of you are in that situation because literally yesterday when we had a conversation on the Discord, someone was literally like, I forget the name of the person, but someone on the Discord was like, oh yeah, I've been talking to this guy for 8 years. For 8 years, I've been talking to this guy and we've been having ongoing friends with benefits for 8 years. And, I've never been his girlfriend. And so now he has a girlfriend. Can you let me know how to get, him interested in me possibly? This is not a joke. I'm not pulling this out of my butt. This was really a message that we had yesterday of a girl who has been friends with benefits with a guy for 8 years. Since she was 17, she was with this guy, friends with benefits, waiting for her opportunity. To the point where she literally said in the message, I've accepted the fact that the love is on my side. Okay, not to diss her, but I just want you guys to understand how quickly you can find yourself in that situation when you do this the wrong way. Okay, so we talked about motivation, desire, hunger. All of these come before the process of you sleeping with the guy. Okay, these are all the emotions and things that he's going through before you guys get together. Now let's talk about once it happens. Okay, so finally he rams his pencil length and pencil width stick inside of you for exactly 1 minute and 25 seconds. Okay, you stare up at the ceiling, count the ceiling tiles, and think to yourself, finally I'm getting the validation I need. Finally he's probably gonna make me his girlfriend, even though it's never gonna happen. Okay, so your 1 minute and 25 seconds is up. You're super disappointed, but you feel a little bit of validation. Now let's talk about complacency. Okay, because I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to be mean because you need to hear me be mean. The very first emotion that he has when he finally sleeps with you, especially when it's very soon and very quick without a lot of work put in, the very first emotion he feels is complacency. Why? Because I have put in zero work basically to get to this point. While my hunger and desire to have pineapples was continuing to push me and motivate me to get more and finally get to this point, now that I'm here and I've released and I'm satisfied and I'm satiated, I realize that I really don't have that deep of a connection with you. I really don't care too much to get to know you. And I really don't have any more desire to grow a relationship with you when in reality, there's nothing more to discover about you that I would probably find interesting or fascinating anyways. He's just making an assumption. I'm not necessarily saying you're not interesting. I just want you to understand that these are the subconscious thing that goes through their mind. Well, this is why I say there's layers. And the fact that they want to discover love is underneath the fact that they're going to try to pursue pineapples. But the only way they can properly discover love a lot of the time is by pursuing pineapples. And then your job in allowing the approach to be positioned right is when he can discover love in the process of pursuing pineapples. Okay. So the reason I say that is because complacency can set in very quickly when instead of him being allowed to use the funnel of wanting to pursue pineapples to discover how amazing and awesome you are, discover how deep your connection is, become more emotionally invested in you, figure out how much he loves and cares about you and how attached he is to you, right? And then getting pineapples and then knowing already, even after he gets the pineapples, how much he is invested in you and staying with you. Now he gets the satisfaction of having the pineapples with you, having the experience with you, but now he no longer sees the purpose in continuing to grow and get to know you and grow the relationship with you. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Is that making a little bit more sense now? right? Because now that this has been satisfied, his hunger and desire to have pineapples with you, he now thinks to himself, well, what's the purpose of getting to know more about her? I've gotten kind of what I came here to get, even if he's not thinking that on a very conscious level, right? His internal motivations and the way he has grown to feel, because the mind doesn't understand I'm chasing after love. The mind just understands I'm chasing after the ability to procreate, which just means I'm chasing after the ability to have more pineapples. Okay, for men, we can't differentiate that, right? And like I say, that complacency sets in because we become like, oh well, I kind of feel like, and this is why I say this is the emotional breakdown, because the feeling is so overwhelming that I feel like I accomplished what I came here to accomplish. And so they begin to think to themselves, what is there left to accomplish? I have, quote unquote, conquered you. So why would I continue putting in more investment into you emotionally, spiritually, all that good stuff, mentally, when I feel like I've gotten what I came here to get? And so the equation stops making sense to him, where he thinks to himself, okay, even if I think she's cool, why am I still here? What am I in pursuit of? I don't understand. This is why I say for men's emotions, they can't see, oh, I'm supposed to be here for the pursuit of love. It doesn't make sense. So even if you are amazing, even if you are the person for him, he can't quite make sense of the fact of why am I still here despite feeling satisfied with where I've gotten with you and not needing any further steps in this relationship. And because that stops making sense to them, why they're going to be ongoingly committed to you or motivated to continue growing this relationship or pursuing you, they just stop pursuing you. Or they become complacent and they drastically decrease the amount in which they pursue or chase after you. Does that make sense to you guys? I don't know, because this is kind of like really in the weeds here. And I want to make sure you guys are still able to follow me, right? In what we're talking about, that it doesn't get too deep in the weeds. Okay. Jeanette says, when is the best time to give pineapples to I think you meant to say like a genuine man? How do you know if he's genuine and it's time? Well, here's the thing. You only know if he's genuine by allowing him to show you how consistent he is ready and prepared to be in this relationship, right? So this is why I always tell you guys, you need to be patient and allow guys to show you not just that they're ready to love bomb you and tell you how much they want to be with you in the first 30 seconds of meeting you, but show you how much they're ready to actually grow a relationship with you over time. You need to get to listen. This is what I want all of you guys to listen. I'm answering her question, but I'm answering all of your guys' questions. You need to be meeting a man. You need to see what he's like when he's mad. You need to see what he's like when he's sad. You need to see what he's like when he's stressed out. You need to see what your relationship and everything looks like when he's going through a plethora of different situations and circumstances other than just you guys going out for a nice fancy dinner date and, then you guys go your separate ways. You need to experience him in a plethora of different situations and circumstances that you can have a real understanding of the human being that you're spending time with, because this is a stranger. And so in the process of him being a stranger, you really need to be sure of everything that comes with him, that you can actually validate or confirm what he's really here for and what he's really about. Because it's easy for me to tell you a bunch of nice, amazing, cool things that you'll love to hear when we're happy and we're on a dinner date and I'm all dressed up and you look good and I look good and we're smiling and we're eating food and the food is good and everything's good. It's a lot harder for me to tell you what you want to hear when I'm angry, when I'm stressed out, when it's been 3-4 months and I know I'm just trying to be here to use you or get what I want from you. Right? All of these things, this is why they always say that the 3 types of people that'll tell you the truth are people who are intoxicated, people who are angry, and babies, like children. Okay? Right? It's because that anger, especially one of the main things listen, you don't need to be giving nothing away to no man until you've seen him and been around him when he's angry. Like, and I mean truly angry, because I don't want to rant. You will discover a lot about a person when they're angry with you. You will discover a whole lot that you didn't even think existed or imagined was possible. Okay? So my honest advice to you, I know you guys always want straight timelines, right? Because timelines are dependent on how much you're actually spending time with each other. But if you want to be thinking about it in terms of like time, I want you to not be even considering giving away pineapples to that man until you've been in at least 2 arguments, like 2 real arguments where he's actually upset, like genuinely upset. Then see what he says or how he acts when he's really upset with you. And then go based off of that to see if he's really, truly, properly invested in you. Okay. The reason I say that is because it's easy for things to be easygoing and free flowing when you're seeing each other once a week for the first 3 months and you're going on nonstop dinner dates and dressing up, getting ready to see each other. Once you start passing that threshold, spending more real time with each other and going through things with each other, trust me, it becomes like meeting a whole different person. And you really need to meet that side of the person to have a good understanding of what they're really about. Okay. So if I were you, I would be looking forward to because listen, I don't care who it is. Any real relationship, keyword real relationship, any real relationship, you're going to have disagreements. And people are going to get mad. You're going to get mad. He's going to get mad. This idea that you're going to meet a man and it's going to be so perfect that he'll never get mad, ridiculous. He's going to get mad. Doesn't mean he's going to get mad and everything's going to go AWOL, but he's going to get mad. You need to see how he responds to you, how he treats you, what he says about you, and what he says towards you when he gets mad. It will show you a lot about what he's actually there for, what his actual intentions are, what he actually feels in his heart. Right? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, so I talked about complacency. I want to give you guys an example of complacency and how complacency can set in if you're not doing your job of allowing his hunger to continue growing for you. Okay, so let's think of the example. I want to take this away from dating. Let's think about if you were to go to a movie and you step inside that movie theater, you get your popcorn, you get your nice seat, you booked your seat 2 weeks in advance, you got your snacks, maybe you like M&Ms, maybe you like Sour Patch Kids, maybe for some of you weirdos you like licorice. I don't know why people even enjoy licorice. It's weird to me. But let's say you like licorice, you got your licorice, you're sitting down, you got your M&Ms, you're sitting down, you got your Sour Patch Kids, you got your popcorn filled with butter, you're sitting down. You prepared yourself for the past month for this movie. And you're in so much anticipation for this movie, you're ready to spend the next 2 hours of your life consuming this movie. And only for you to realize that in the movie theater, they literally give you the intro, they tell you the characters, and then right after that, and they tell you exactly how it ends. And that's the end of the movie. They introduce the characters for 1 minute, they tell you what the plot is, and then they tell you how it's resolved, and then like, all right, goodbye, have a good day, see you next time. And all of that anticipation that you built up, all of that, readiness that you came prepared to consume something and get fully invested into that movie was over in 3 minutes. There was no buildup. There was no tension, nothing. Just straight tell you what happens, tell you what the plot is, tell you how it gets resolved immediately. No buildup, no nothing. The same way that's disappointing is the same way men feel disappointed when they finally sleep with you, right? Especially when it comes right at the beginning. Now, obviously, they don't always feel disappointed anytime they sleep with you. They feel disappointed when it comes in a way that doesn't feel like they have earned that. The same way when you go to a movie, you could watch that same story stretched over 2.5 hours, filled with tension and emotional roller coaster of ups and downs. And going through this, you thought this was going to happen. You laugh, you cry, you're sad, you're happy, you're joyful, right? And by the end of the movie, when they reveal the final secret, the final truth, the final whatever, the final scene, and you watch it and you're like, this was a great movie. You feel satisfied because of all the things you went through to get to that final destination. So I say that to say guys can still sleep with you and not feel disappointed. But if your movie is 3 minutes long, he's going to feel disappointed. Okay? You're not a movie, but I just want you to understand the analogy. If your movie is only 3 minutes long, despite him getting his popcorn and his licorice and his M&Ms and his Sour Patch Kids ready to have an experience, and you sit there and you only give him a 3 minute long movie, well, that's going to be pretty disappointing. And it's going to be very hard for me to come out of a 3 minute movie and say, wow, that was the best movie I've ever watched. Unfortunately. Okay? So the reason I tell you that is because I want you to understand how you can try and adjust or change your approach, or at least understand what's happening below the surface inside a man, because he's not going to be able to tell you this is why he's doing these things. He's not going to be able to tell you this is what I feel and how I feel and why I feel it. Okay? But I want you to understand this is what's happening. This is what's happening inside of him, and then how it plays out externally towards you. Right? Zeal says, how does it feel when like he earned it? Like, I guess you might say, what does it feel like when he earned it? What it feels like when he earns it is like going to that movie that you anticipated for 4 weeks. You saw all the trailers. You've been so invested. You watch the movie and it's even better than you anticipated. Then you walk out of the movie literally saying to yourself, I've got to go see that movie another 2-3 times. This is the best movie ever. See, when your anticipation is met by the quality of the thing, right? And you've waited for it, and then when you actually consume it, it's amazing. You say to yourself, I literally need to do this again 100 times. That was amazing. When all of those things meet in the perfect balance, the only logical thing to say after that is, I need to do that again. I need to experience that again. If you've ever prepared yourself for a really good dinner, let's say you were going out to some place that you really like, oh my God, this looks amazing. I'm so ready to go here. This looks like, look at the sauce dripping off of that meat. Oh my God, I'm just ready to go. Not in a dirty way. Get your mind out of the gutter. Look at that sauce dripping off of that meat. I'm just so ready to go to this spot. You go to this spot. Let's say you have the chicken sandwich there. And when you finally bite into that chicken sandwich, you're like, this is the best chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life. And the experience blows you out of the water, even though you were ready for it, even though you were anticipating it, even though you were like, this is going to be great. The fact that you actually experienced it and it was even better. What happens the moment you walk out of that restaurant? I got to go here again. I got to do this again. I got to have it again. Same thing with the men. Their response is, I got to see you again. We got to spend more time together. I got to experience you some more. Okay? Make sense? So that's why complacency is so important. Now, so we talked about motivation, desire, hunger. Complacency happens after the fact. Now let's look at all the other things that are starting to happen on an emotional level after the fact of him sleeping with you. This is where it's going to get dark. Okay? I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to get dark. Here comes validation. Specifically self-validation. Why? Because let's face this reality. You are the woman, okay? I'm assuming most of you are women here. You are receiving, meaning when it's time for pineapples, I'm inserting myself inside of you, okay? You have to receive me inside of you. Let's not make this too graphic. In the process of you receiving me inside of you, there is not just a physical representation of that. There's also an emotional and spiritual representation of that. What I mean is, you are not just receiving me physically as a man. You are receiving me emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of that at the same time, which is why they say there's a transfer of energy and you can begin to carry someone's trauma by, sleeping with them. The reason I say that, and the reason I bring that up, the process of you receiving him emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, is because I want you to understand how that affects my own validation in myself. Because if you're receiving me, there's a process of understanding that I must meet a certain level of criteria, or I must be amazing or awesome or be above some sort of threshold in order to be received by you. And even if your standards are low, still the idea or the concept that a lot of women will gladly receive me into them, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, that must mean I must be of really high value or high quality. Even if it's not necessarily true, it still becomes a self-validating prophecy is the wrong word, but like a self-validating thing, where the concept that I can actually do that and I can actually be received and accepted by you tells me through you that I must be valuable, I must be quality, or else you wouldn't feel comfortable receiving me into you. Okay? So it becomes my own way of validating myself through you. Men love validation as well. Don't think that it's just the women, right? And in the process of me self-validating myself through you, I feel good about myself now. I feel like everything I think of myself as it relates to me being the man and me being better than all other men, and the comparison that I feel in terms of the competition between me and other men for who's the best, who's the biggest honcho. I'm manly man. I defeat you in battle. I fight to the death for love and Squirtle. Me big strong manly man. Me big strong manlier man than you. Right? That competition that the men naturally feel with each other, even on a subconscious level, even if there's not men in the room, they feel the satisfaction of thinking, oh, more women receive me than women receive you. That must mean I'm a better man than you. Ha ha, peasant. Peasant. Right? You should be cleaning the bottom of my shoe, peasant. All the women receive me, they don't receive you, right? It becomes self-validating, right? And this can be you need to understand how much power you hold in yourself and how much validation that gives him at that moment. And this is why the guys seem to switch up on you or become all big-headed when they finally sleep with you and don't show you the same respect when they sleep with you, especially at the beginning. Because that validation that you've given him through that is what's allowed his ego to be stroked. And now he's like, oh, I know I'm the man. So I don't need to hear what you have to say. I don't need to try to spend more time with you or text you every day or call you every day to get validation. I've gotten the ultimate validation from you, because regardless of whether you don't call me or text me after this, I know that there is no bigger or larger validation I could get from you than you allowing me inside of you. So it doesn't matter what I do for you after this. I've already gotten the maximum amount of validation from you that I need. This is why the guys get the huge ego after they sleep with you, because they've been validated by you. Okay, does that make sense? Ivy in the YouTube chat says we do have so much power. You do. Because you're receiving. And so because you're receiving, you get to make the choice on who you receive. It is me pursuing. It is me chasing. It is me asking you if you will receive me. I give an example here that I want you guys to think about, because it kind of speaks to the same idea. Right? Imagine there was an exclusive club in which only the most beautiful women on this planet Earth are being invited to. And let's say you go to the gym every day, you work hard on yourself every day, work hard on your body, you're trying to get your face structure right, you get braces, you do your hair every day, right? You do everything possible to be as attractive and have your appearance look as amazing as it possibly can, that hopefully one day they'll recognize you and accept you into the club of the most beautiful women on this earth. And one day, finally, you get accepted into this club of the most beautiful women on earth. Now, even if someone doesn't tell you you're the most beautiful woman on earth, the moment you walk into that club, you will feel self-validated that I am here in an exclusive club only for the most beautiful of beautiful, only for the most luscious and amazing of desirable of women, because I am one of those most desirable women. And it becomes self-validating to be received by that exclusive club. Even if you were to find out that laterwards, even if in reality the club isn't that exclusive, it doesn't matter. The feeling still exists within you that because you feel like the only people here are part of an exclusive club, the fact that you're here becomes validation to you that you are part of this club with these people and you're just one of the most beautiful people on this earth as well. Okay? Does that make sense to you? Okay, right? And validation can be a very strong thing. It can be a very strong motivator for men and women. And you have to understand for the men as well, they can be motivated by the validation they receive from you and other women by sleeping with you and a bunch of other women. Okay? And that validation can become addicting in itself and something that the men chase after inherently as well. Okay? Thank you so much to Mila Vukmir in the YouTube chat who donates to $2.79. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. She says, my BF says I don't put in enough effort as he does. You don't need to put in effort. Well, let me rewrite that. Your effort is different than his effort. You don't need to be asking him out on dates. Now, that doesn't mean you don't do stuff for your boyfriend and you don't care for his needs and emotionally and things like that. But you don't need to be asking him out on dates. You don't need to be, planning and scheduling, life for him and buying him flowers. Okay, that's totally different. You can put in effort in other ways that doesn't require you to be the man of the relationship. Okay, so that's what I'll say to that. But thank you for the donation there. Okay, so does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? Ivy says you don't need to be hot. You just have to love pineapples. I agree. You don't necessarily need to be, if you're talking about as a guy, is that what you mean? Yes, I agree. Okay. So let's go to, so first we had, obviously we had motivation, desire, hunger, complacency, validation. Now let's go to number 6. Excuse me. Okay. Let's go to number 6. So number 6 is distraction. Okay. Men see pineapples, SEX, can be like a drug. Just like any other drug, it can become very addicting if you don't monitor it. Men, a lot of times, will use pineapples as a way to distract themselves emotionally from themselves or their own life or their problems or their situations and circumstances. Why? Because it's easier to focus your time and energy on something that will make you feel good in the short term, rather than facing your long-term problems that bring you consistent pain. Okay? The reason I bring this up as to how men view pineapples on an emotional sense is because I also want you to understand the motivating factors behind why men might be going out and having all of this low quality connection with you and other women. Validation is one of those reasons. Distraction is another one of those reasons. Because it's very easy to distract myself with the quick hit of dopamine I feel and the validation I feel when I sleep with you on the first night, the second night, the third night, very easily without doing much effort or work. And it's very easy for me to distract myself from the actual things I should be focusing my time and energy on, i.e. my job or my business if I have one, right? Or the fact that I'm not doing anything with my life, okay? Have you ever noticed that the guys who are the most broke have the most time to spend with you and have the most time to have pineapples with you? Yeah, that's because instead of putting their time and energy into the things that they should be doing, they're putting all their time and energy into chasing around kitty cat. Okay, so kitty cat pineapples can also become a distraction, and it is part of the reason why men become so hyper fixated on getting straight to that they're not caring about anything else because they want the quick hit of what they're here to distract themselves with. They're not here to distract themselves with a long-term serious relationship. They're not here to distract themselves with building a long-lasting life and partnership with you. They're here to distract themselves by getting access to your so luscious waterfall of a squirtle, right? That they forget about all their problems, that they don't focus on the things that they need to be focused on. It's the same reason, and these emotions that some of these men feel, this desire to be distracted is part of the reason men become hyper fixated on how quickly they can extract pineapples from you instead of how they can grow a relationship with you. This is part of the reason why I always tell you to be asking men. See, these are all going to lead into the things we discuss. It's part of the reason why I tell you to be asking men what they want, what their goals are, and understanding if they have direction, because you'll quickly start to see a pattern of if a man doesn't have direction in his life, if he doesn't have structure in his life, if he doesn't have discipline in his life, he will not be interested in growing something with you or developing something with you. Instead, he'll be using the idea of the quick hit of just being with you very quickly, dating you one time or meeting you on a dating app and sleeping with you right away. He'll be using that as validation or using that as a distraction, right? To get him focused on anything else but what he should be focused on. And in the end, you end up suffering because you give yourself away to someone who's not even invested in growing anything with you. They're only invested in extracting something quickly from you for the purpose of however it serves themselves, whether it be the validation or the distraction. Does that make sense to you so far? Okay. Right? Base Beauty says, I thought they do it because it gives them a sense of control and dominance. Well, think about it. Control and dominance over what? Control and dominance over you? So who does that validate if he has control and dominance over you or over many other girls? That validates him. Because what are the only types of men that would have control and dominance over you and lots of other girls? The man, right? So that inherent understanding, I'm the man if I have control and dominance over this woman and all these other women, especially if I have that amount of control and dominance over women so intensely that they'll give it to me very quickly without me having to work for it. It becomes very humbling if I have to sit on the sidelines and wait my turn. Even though it's humbling, now the fact that it's humbling decreases my sense of pride, decreases my arrogance, then I approach the situation with a little bit more respect. Okay? Right? The easier it feels for him to conquer you, the better he feels about himself, the bigger his head blows up, and the less humble he is towards you. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? So that was the distraction. Now, as it relates to distraction, I want to give you an example. Okay? So if you are forced to wait in a long line, rather than focusing on how long the line is, you're more likely to try to focus your energy on something, whether doing something, talking on the phone, whatever it may be, texting, whatever, on something else that you don't spend all your time in agony or in pain thinking about how long this line is, thinking about how much time you'll have to wait. I literally went to Canada's Wonderland like a week and a half ago. and we were in this long line for this roller coaster. And instead of us, me and my friends, just sitting there and being on the phone, or just sitting there and being in this line, waiting for this line to get shorter, we started playing charades. Okay, right? And the process of us playing the charades distracted ourselves from how long this line was, and the fact that we had to wait like an hour and like 20 minutes to get to the front of this line. Okay. And I bring up distraction because I want you to understand how distraction plays a role in what men are feeling and why they go about it the way that they go about it. Okay. A distraction, in terms of you and Pineapples with you and Squirtle and your amazing soaking wet Squirtle, right, can be a very good and amazing way for us as men to distract ourselves from actually doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, which is bettering ourselves. Okay. And we just become so full. Instead of validating ourselves by doing the things that we're supposed to be doing for our lives to better ourselves, we validate ourselves through you by getting more and easy, quick access to you. So it makes me feel good. Right? Jack says, yeah, men use Squirtle as like heroin. I agree. Okay. So does that make sense to you guys? So that was distraction. Distraction was number 6. So we had motivation, desire, hunger, complacency, validation, distraction. Now let's get to pineapples from love. Okay. There's pineapples for pleasure, but specifically we're going to be talking about pineapples from love. Notice I said pineapples from love, and I said pineapples for pleasure, because the sequencing is different. So pineapples from love is the deepest and most satisfying version of pineapples for men, but we don't understand how to chase love. We only understand how to chase pineapples. In the process of chasing pineapples, we discover love. Okay. I know this one's not going to make sense to you probably. It's mostly because you're not a man. That's okay. I'm trying to help you understand, right? Remember how I talked about the reason I had to bring everything up before I brought this up is because you need to understand the motivation. You need to understand the way we think. You need to understand what we go through, because that's the only way you'll understand why we must first chase the thing that we were built to desire and want. In the process of that, you do the job of setting us in the right path emotionally and giving us the right pace. It doesn't mean you actually have to take action, right? But you just understand what we desire, what we're chasing after. You set us straight. In the process of us continuing to desire you and have that hunger for you, both physically, mentally, emotionally, all that good stuff, and want more access to you, we discover the love we have for you and the attachment we have towards you, that even by the time we finally do have pineapples with you, even by the time we finally do get access to your Squirtle, even by the time we are intimate with you, we recognize afterwards how invested we still are emotionally in you. And so the experience is much better because of how emotionally invested we are in you. And also afterwards, because the experience was so good, because we worked so hard to get to this point, similar to the great movie that you were anticipating for months and months and months, and when you watched it, it was 2 hours long and it was amazing, is the same thing we walk away from after we have that experience with you, and we say, I need more of that. When everything balances together, when you get pineapples from love instead of pineapples for pleasure, right? You get a guy who is satisfied, but doesn't, just because he's satisfied in terms of having his experience with you finally, he isn't necessarily complacent. Okay. Obviously, he's still going to have the hunger and desire to have pineapples. So when I say satisfied, I just mean he finally gets to experience all of you. And in the process of experiencing all of you, the feeling and the experience is so amazing because he's worked all this time through that motivation he's had to chase after pineapples or whatever it may be, chase after your Squirtle. through that process, he's discovered you. He's grown with you. He's understood you. He's gotten to know you. He's become more emotionally invested in you. And then by the time you do sleep with each other, he doesn't just say to himself, well, that was great, but I don't think I need anything more from you. He thinks to himself, well, that was amazing. And that was such an amazing experience. And I'm so glad I did it. I want to do it again. Actually, I want to do it for the rest of my life. Do you want to marry me? Okay. Right? Says if he's really into you. So that's the whole idea, right? You are first doing the job of growing his attraction for you, growing the fact that he's actually interested in you and wants to build with you and wants to be consistent with you in the process. And you get him also emotionally invested in you. That's very important. In the process of you getting him emotionally invested in you, then and only then is when you finally sleep with him, when he's fully emotionally invested in you and consistent with you. Okay? Someone said only after marriage. Well, see, it all depends on what you want and what your goals are. Okay, I can't sit here and tell all of you, hey, only have pineapples after marriage, because I know for some of you that's just not that you're not necessarily going to live by that. But I do know that all of you are here because you want to figure out how to get what you want out of the relationship in the way that you are still in a good, healthy, long-term relationship, not just getting used. That's fine. You can do that. And I'm trying to help you to do that in a way that doesn't necessarily require you to just wait till marriage. Although obviously waiting till marriage would be awesome. Okay. Zeal says he's stuck in love for sure, but no one talks about marriage. Obviously waiting till marriage will be awesome, but listen, we're in the Players Club here. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and talk to you guys about waiting till marriage as if all of you are actually going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is give you real advice that you can actually use in your life. If you want to wait till marriage, you can wait till marriage. That would be great. But if you don't want to wait till marriage, I still want to give you a strategy that's actually tangible, not just tell you, hey, guys, wait till marriage. That's the best thing for you to do. Okay, like great. But in reality, most of you aren't going to do that. Okay, so I actually want to benefit you even if you don't do that. Right? Rain says, why doesn't it work with friends with benefits who've been with each other for years? Actually, everything that I just said, because they easily become complacent, right? Think you're thinking about it in we've been with each other for years and we're growing a deeper bond and connection. Instead, he's thinking of it as I've been sleeping with you for years with no commitment, with as little time and energy spent on you as possible. Why would I commit to you where I would have to do more for you and have to set stricter boundaries when I've been getting everything that I would want from you and would get from you if we were in a committed relationship? This is where you have to start thinking on how men view things and what men's perspective is. Because you're offering him, basically you're saying, do more for the same thing that you've been getting for the past 4 years, 5 years, however many years. He thinks to himself, why would I do more for stricter boundaries and, more commitment and more energy and resources required on my part for the same result that I've been getting for 4 years? No, I'll just stick to the thing I've been doing for 4 years that's allowed me the freedom to explore any other relationship that I want at any other time. Right? Okay. You got that husband treatment, right? Dana says, how should you end it when you realize this is the case? Don't be so focused on ending it. Actually be focused on walking away. Some of you want your dramatic ending, and some of you want your dramatic last word where you tell him off and tell him how wrong he was to you and tell him how he used you and how he took advantage of you, when in reality, it doesn't do anything. That's just for your own ego. The best thing for you to do if you actually just want to walk away is to just walk away. Just block him or just unfollow him and just move on with your life. Just throw away all his clothes. I talked to you guys yesterday, and I've made a video, made a whole episode, a show about it before, on how to emotionally detach yourself from a man. Okay, so watch that episode. That will tell you exactly how to do that. And none of it consists of telling him off. None of it consists of sending him one long message and telling him how you feel about this and how you feel about that. It all consists of doing the work internally and just like leaving it be. Okay, it's not a huge long text, not a huge long phone call. You don't need to show him what he's missing out on. You just move forward. Yigi. Earth Angel says, we appreciate you, Tomisin. Speak the truth. Thank you so much. Okay. Mila says, how can I be a good girlfriend and keep the chase? I would see that kind of deserves its own episode. But Mila, I would say to you, being a good girlfriend, truthfully, is just continue investing in yourself and allow him to continue to desire you. I really don't think as a woman, you necessarily need to be trying to do more. Okay. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do anything, but don't be so focused on how you can get him to see you. Because the reason I say that to you guys, and even to Mila as well, is because I just know that the moment you're in a position where you're thinking to yourself, how can I be a girlfriend that gets him to chase? Getting him to chase is not about doing more for him. Getting him to chase is about doing more for yourself, that you become more desirable and attractive to him, which is what makes him motivated to chase you. He's not going to be motivated to chase you because of how well you scrub the floor. He's not going to be motivated to chase you because of how well you cook dinner every day. He might appreciate that, but that's not going to motivate him to chase you. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's going to be motivated to chase the women that he finds the most attractive and desirable. And he's going to find the women the most attractive and desirable that are investing all their time and energy into themselves. Okay. And that's the problem, because I know when some of you are thinking, how can I get him to see me? How can I get him to want me? How can I get him to chase after me? You're thinking I'm going to give you advice on how to cook the best meal, that his eyes are going to light up and he's going to say, oh my God, I want to chase after you every day because you cook such a good meal. No, he's going to say that was a good meal. It doesn't make me want to chase you though. It doesn't make me want to pursue you though. Because that's just not how it works. If you want to be chased, you have to think like his dream woman. You have to think like his favorite IG model. For some of you in horrible situations, you have to think like his favorite OF model. You have to think about his favorite celebrity crush and how she would act. Do you think his favorite celebrity crush or his dream woman would have any concern with him? Or do you think his favorite celebrity crush or his dream woman would be so concerned with everything she's got going on with herself that that's all she can think about and all she has time for? And that your man would be sitting there begging for her time and attention because of how badly he wants her. So if that's the case of your dream woman, and you want to figure out how you can get him to chase you like he would chase your dream woman, well, then you need to be embodying the same energy and same approach that his dream woman would be having. And his dream woman damn sure ain't getting on her hands and knees in her maid outfit, scrubbing the floor, asking if you love me now. Okay? Someone said, so are you saying don't care, not care? Yes. That's what I'm saying. Now, that's obviously easier said than done. You have to properly be able to detach yourself from relationships and situations that you can actually not care. Because honestly, the process of you not caring is what elicits the right response out of men, that they care a lot. It's the same reason why, because I know for those of you, I said this many times, for those of you, I know what you guys look like. Okay. I know that 99% of you, except for those of you who have massive foreheads and huge bobbleheads and just look not good. Okay. Majority of you are attractive women who can be attractive to any man. So it's not really about your ability to be attractive or unattractive. It's about your approach that makes you attractive or unattractive. And the problem for a lot of you is the guys that you don't like are madly in love with you because you're not interested in them and you don't care. That's why they're madly in love with you. And the guys that you are madly in love with, you care so much and you try so hard that you actually become unattractive and repulsive. That's where I come in, to try to help you understand what you're doing different, which is why you're getting a different response. Because it's easy to not like someone and not care about them, and then that's when they're going to chase after you the most, especially guys. But the moment you start liking a guy and really wanting to be with him, your approach changes, so you elicit a different response out of him. Okay? As weird as that sounds, Anisha says men are weird. Yeah, we are, right? If you don't like us, we're gonna like you. If you like us way too much, you're kind of too close here. You've been on my shoulder the past 3 minutes here. Can you please back up a little bit? Give me just a little bit of space. Okay? They love being in a position where you don't really like them. That's what guys love. As weird and strange as it sounds. Trust me, I don't care how powerful he is. I don't care how rich he is. I don't care how much money he got. I don't care how successful he is, famous he is. They love being in a position where they feel like you don't really like them. I got to tell you the truth. Right? Zio says now that he had space, he's going crazy for attention. You know what's funny? We even talked about it in Discord, and we're going to head in the Discord in a second. For those of you who have questions, make sure you put your question in the Discord right now. If you're on TikTok, go in my bio. If you're on YouTube, just go down and link in the description, or it's pinned at the top. Even in the Discord, we've seen situations where the moment a girl will pull away, we've seen screenshots of guys being like, why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you calling me? Why aren't you doing this? Don't you like me anymore? Why do you feel like that? Why don't you want to spend time with me? Why don't you want to hang out? And they turn into you. They turn into you. The way you've been begging, and the way you've been, so clingy, and the way you've been on him about why doesn't he call you? Why doesn't he text you? Why doesn't he this? Why doesn't he that? It's the same way the guys get if you take a step back. As crazy as that is. Even the guys that you like, I'm telling you, you take a step back from the guys that you like and you watch the script get flipped, and watch how fast he starts running after you if he's interested in you. For some of the guys you like, they're not interested in you. But for the guys you like, trust me, the script can get flipped so quickly that it actually is painful. Right? Someone says, even if he really likes the validation, you have to understand it's even more validating to be in pain that you feel like someone doesn't like you, and then when they give you a little bit, you're like, oh my God, they like me. That's even better than someone always saying 24/7, I love you so much. Weird, but true. Okay, let's hop into the Discord. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. Okay, 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 it's Discord time. One day we're going to come up with a Discord theme song. One of these days. All right, let's hop into the Discord. Lots of stuff to answer here in the Discord today. Here we got a lot of stuff to answer here in the Discord. We got a lot of stuff to answer in the Discord again. Okay, let's pull up our first question in the Discord. I see some interesting titles. Coney is our first guest in the Discord. Let's see what Coney has said. So Coney says, what should be the way forward? Coney asks, hey Tomisin, do you think I'm being played? Let's see. I, 23 female, have been in a talking stage with a 28-year-old male for the past 3 months. Okay. We've shared family background stories. He's being divorced. Excuse me. Sorry for burping in the mic. He's being divorced parents. Relevant later. So his parents are divorced, I think he meant to say. School, pineapple preferences, and overall gotten very close. I'm always the one to cheer him up, okay? After a hectic day from work and lately any other thing that bothers him. We talk every day when he's at work. He even respects me more now. Okay. The other day, a mutual friend passed away unalived. Okay. God rest his soul. Rest in peace. And we had a moment of, I'd be devastated if it was you, which ended by him saying he cares about me. And I said, same. Okay. That's good. That's nice. Something nice for once. He once told me he's never said, I love you. So kind of a big deal. Okay. Everything going well until he told me 3 days ago how he thinks he'll never have kids. When I asked, he said cuz he won't get married. Ooh. When I asked why, he said cuz he likes being alone. Of which I replied, this is over text. Not good. That's even worse. I see, and replied again, but I didn't open the text or text back. Now it's been 3 days. I've muted him on WhatsApp and IG where we normally talk. I think his parents' divorce scared him to commitment. I'm currently fighting the urge to text him, hoping he'll realize he misses me and reconsider. Also, we've never met, though we live in the same city. Only video calls and snaps. Oh my God. Every time I get my hopes up about a message and a situation, you guys just step on my heart. I think you did that on purpose. I think you did, Coney. I think you saved that to the end on purpose so that I would be devastated when you finally said that last part. I think you really did that on purpose. Because I was like, this is going so good. Oh, you guys talk every day, even I guess, maybe you guys text in between and stuff, when he's at work, but at least, you guys are seeing each other. Things are going well. You helped him through some situations. You're kind of like his therapist. That's always a good place to be because that gets him emotionally invested in you. And then you just drop this bomb. You've never even met this man in real life. Video calls, and snaps. Oh, I'm gonna explode. What? Let me continue reading before I burst the gasket. P.S. He hasn't dated since college, which is 4 years ago, after his last girlfriend cheated. Okay. Since he's only had pineapple partners who ghost him after they realize they won't become an item. Or sorry, after they realize they didn't become an item. Coney, we need to have a conversation here. You don't know this guy, okay? You don't know who this guy is. I don't care what he says. I don't care how he talks. I don't care what he looks like. I don't care about none of that. You don't know him, okay? So actually, everything you're saying is irrelevant. Until you actually meet him, this is irrelevant. Because you're not even in a relationship. You're not even talking to this guy. You're doing nothing with this guy. This is still a stranger. You can video call someone and meet them in person, and it's a totally different energy when you meet them in person. So that should tell you you're not really getting to know someone when you're video calling and FaceTiming them, and damn sure not when you're Snapchatting them, okay? Cut that out. If you guys live far away, there should be a concentrated effort on actually seeing. Okay, so this changes actually everything, because now I don't feel like you're actually building anything real. I actually think you have a pen pal, which actually I don't even think. You do have a pen pal because you don't meet this person in person. You just talk every day on the phone, and you text, you video call, and you Snapchat. Okay, useless waste of your time, because unless he is becoming intentional about growing a real relationship with you and actually spending real time with you, none of this is going to lead to a How can it lead to a relationship? First of all, he doesn't want to get married. Okay, he doesn't want to get married. He likes being alone. Okay, so he's basically telling you he just likes texting you and calling you for the sake of keeping around company with no intention of actually growing a relationship, which is probably the same reason why in the past 3 months, he hasn't even bothered to set up a real in-person hangout with you. I would hope that the reason is because he lives on the other side of the world. Let's just hope that. I hope for your sake, Coney, this man doesn't live any less than 2 hours away from you. Because if he lives less than 2 hours away from you and you've been pen paling him for 3 months and never seen him in person, you wasting a whole heap of time. Even still, 3 months of you're talking every day, and every day talking, he's never mentioned the idea of seeing you in person. Yeah, this man wants a pen pal, and you're being exactly that. You're wasting your time, Coney. Don't waste your time. Someone said, she said they live in the same city. Did she say that? Don't make me get mad right now. He even respects me more now. Where did she say that? If she said that, I'm gonna get mad. No, I don't think I see where she said they live in the same city. Because if she said that at the end, I dated for 4 years last year. She and his partners who go some. What the? What? What? What are you doing? Coney, you live in the same city as this man. For 3 months, you've been Snapchatting and video calling him, and he's had no intention of seeing you in person. Coney, this man is not interested in you whatsoever. He's not even motivated enough to get easy pineapples from you. This is unbelievable. You talk to this man you're wasting every day of your life, 365 days in a year. 3 months is 90 days. You've wasted 90 days of your life talking to a man who lives in your city that has not had any intention to see you in person. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you realize how much good, amazing things you could get done in 90 days? Coney, you're a pen pal. Okay? I can't do this anymore. You're a pen pal. Get for real, Coney. Get for real, and then message me again when you actually meet this man. Get so for real, because you're a pen pal. Okay, next we have OGZ. Hopefully this is better than Coney's. Should I give up on this possibly ever working? OGZ says, I'm 31 female and the guy is 33. I'll call him G. We've worked together for the past 2 years. Okay. Okay. Just from timeline, 2 years. There's a lot of investment. When I started on the team, I saw him for the first time on a team Zoom call and thought he was cute. Okay. He trained me and another girl and told us to reach out if we needed anything, which I did. What did you need? You needed some pee-pee? That's what you needed? And we eventually started chatting. We both love music and share songs a lot. What type of songs? Like Trey songs? That type of songs? After a few months, we exchanged numbers, of course. We texted for a few weeks, and then one weekend he asked me if I had a BF, and we both said we were interested in each other. Okay. He said he would plan a date for us, but the next night he asked me if I wanted to go get a drink. It was late on Sunday, so I told him maybe another time. Okay. Fast forward a few months and we didn't talk as much, but I got close with some other girls he trained. Let's call them F and A. This is scaring me. Whenever people start including other people, this scares me. They worked more closely with with G. A even joked about being his assistant. It's starting to sound like G's a hot commodity. He seems like the manly boss that all the girls want. This sounds suspicious that A's joking like this. And if you're including her, it's probably because you either feel threatened by her or you feel like there's something going on. Let's go on and see. One time for all of us, went to brunch for F's B-day. And F told me while she was drunk that A liked G. See, I know enough about life to know how things go. I told you, I don't read this beforehand, guys. So I'm literally learning as we go. The gag is A is engaged and ended up pregnant shortly after F told me. Okay. Let's buckle up here. This is gonna get crazy. So I didn't think much of the crush she had, and also didn't know if G felt the same. Well, probably something. Okay, let's see. G and I still talk separately, but now nowhere as much as before. I'm shy, so when we're on site, I usually will only speak to him if he speaks to me first. But when we're out for brunches, what type of job you be having? It's just him. I don't hear you. There's no other guys in this unit. It's just him above you, and then all you bunch of you girls. And you guys go out to brunches all the time. What type of job is this? Every now and then he'll text me, and sometimes it gets flirty, but he's never brought up a date again. He said a few times that he owes me lunch and jokes about us going, but he's never there's never a real plan made. I don't know him super well since I've never talked to him. Wait, what? I've never talked to him in person one-on-one for more than like 10 minutes. Okay. And there's a new duo of girls he's had to train, I think. What type of job is this? Is it only girls that works in this unit here? Why is it only girls that works? He's always training new girls. Why is I wish you would have told me what type of job you have, because I'm kind of wondering why there's so many. Like, I get if there's a few, but like it's like you're saying he has to train new girl, or maybe you're leaving out that there's guys also. Just okay. Brunches sounds okay. And there's a new duo of girls he's got to train, I think. If not both of them might like him. What's going on here? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Why is everyone so into him? What type of job is this? I have so many questions. I have talked to other guys casually, but I always end up thinking about G and wondering if it could work between us, or if that ship has sailed. I wouldn't want to jump into anything, but I'm wondering if I'm just keeping hope alive when I should forget about him. These are some screenshots of our text conversation way back of when he asked me if I had a BF. We've talked a bunch through text after this, but this is the only time we've ever said we wanted to explore things with each other, but then never did. Okay, let's see. Oh, you guys, you sent a bunch. Okay, let's go through this. Okay, so this says, let me see if I can get this open here. Let me read this. I wish I could make this bigger for you guys. I don't know if I can make that bigger. So this says, let me read this. It was nice today to me. I'm just making it bigger for myself. It says, it was nice today to me, LOL. I already placed a bet on the game tomorrow. You said, Heda, nah, just joking. I feel about your team. I want to get to the juicy part. We are actually in the urban area right now. Oh yeah, I've been wanting to go there. I heard it's nice, so I'm not trying to be weird, but do you have, oh, that was random the way he brought it up. He said, I'm not trying to be weird, but do you have a boyfriend? Yeah, it's nice. My niece is in a few. And no, I don't have a boyfriend. Do you have a girlfriend? Then he says, LOL, I mean, if I was a kid, I would be, he's just trying to sneak it in there. Nah, I don't have a girlfriend, but I don't want to overstep. You're just trying to be friendly with people on the team. Because I don't want to overstep and make things awkward. Okay, so basically he's saying, I'm feeling you a little bit and I don't want to be weird if you're not feeling me. Let's see this other one here. Excuse me. Let's see this other one here. So you said, LOL, yeah, definitely did not want to be to leave or not overstepping. So you basically confirmed to him, yeah, I'm kind of feeling you too. And then he's like, don't want to, just want to keep it friendly. I was just nervous to say something. You could have been like, I just thought you were cool. I don't see you. Wait, what? I don't see you like that. What's it? Nah, that's cap. He wouldn't have asked that if he didn't see you like that. Friendly, since sorry, I'm just skimming through. Slid in your. I'm the one that originally slid into your team messages. I wasn't sure. Maybe you were just replying to be nice. I would be down to go out sometime then. You gave him a little bit too much validation. I will say that. Does sound like he's been admiring your dumpy though from a distance. Send me two messages trying to be friendly. Yeah, there's a lot of friendly stuff going on in your Slack over here. A lot of friendliness going on over Slack. That's not what Slack's for. That's not what Slack's for. Do not want to leave. Okay, so this is kind of the same thing. Yeah, I think you sent double of the same thing. Let's skip ahead. Is this? I think you accidentally sent a bunch of the same thing. Yeah, this is the same message, right? Same message. Oh, this is a different one. Specific in mind. Then this was kind of him. What he was saying to her. You said you find. See, you're giving him too much by saying you thought he was attractive and all that stuff. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ojeezy. So Ojeezy, I think that in your situation, the mistake you made was kind of like, I get you were trying to tell him that you were interested in him, but I think you were just like a little bit too like forward with it. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't leave any mystery there anymore. That was a little bit of a mistake. And but in terms of this, I actually think like you just need to allow him to cook. You know what I mean? Like, I know that, like I always tell you guys, I know for some of you, you get anxious when a guy likes you or you like a guy and you like want to hurry up and get everything over with and done with and be in a relationship with him right away. But you have to understand, like, okay, you work with this guy. If he likes you and he's truly interested in you, like, he's not going to forget that he's interested in you just because you haven't gone on this date yet. So let this continue to grow and develop. And if he actually is interested in you, I promise you, he will ask you and actually make a date for this date. Right now, it sounds like maybe he's not that crazy interested in you. I'll be honest with you, because those are text messages, but the actions speak louder. And, but you just have to remember, like, this doesn't have to happen overnight. You work with him. He knows what your number is. He knows where to find you. He knows how to talk to, like, he knows where you are. So you're not existing simply because you're not going on a date with him. So I don't think there's anything you can do or should be doing more aside from just being yourself and literally not trying to reach out to him more or talk to him. Because the more you try to push, the more you try to reach out, the more you try to stimulate to get him to talk to you, the less he'll pursue you. So you need to do the opposite and pursue him. Absolutely none. That he can have the space to pursue you, and then just let him cook from there. Okay. Thank you for the message, OGZ. Okay. Taria asked for tips. Taria's question is, hi guys, I recently started being interested in feminine energy and I'm looking for some tips. I want something less obvious than buying new stuff and doing makeup and stuff. Have a nice day. Okay. This is actually, this is what I want from you guys. This is great that you sent this message, Toria, because this is actually not something that I can answer for you. This is something that the chat and all the amazing, beautiful women can answer for you, because it's really not my place to tell you how to be more of a woman. Okay? I can tell you what men think, what men find attractive, why men approach things the way that they do and all that stuff. I can tell you men's mind and thoughts, but it's not really my place to tell you how you should be more of a woman. That's more the job of the woman. So what I want from all you beautiful people in the chat is if you could hop into the Discord and give Toria some great ideas on how she can embody more of her feminine energy in tips that are less obvious. Of course, I give you guys the general idea of you should be in a receiving place where you're receiving more than and observing and listening more than you are pursuing. But when it comes to the specifics of feminine energy and what it means to embody feminine energy, I really want that to come from the women, because it just doesn't make sense for me to be telling you how to be more of a woman. You know what I mean? So yeah, not that I don't want to answer your question, Taria, but I think it would make more sense to come from other amazing, beautiful, smart, intelligent women in the live stream and in the Players Club. Okay, so please do that for her, because I can't answer that question for her. Okay, thank you, Toria, for the question though. Okay, so next we have X. Oh, the message was deleted. Okay, bye, X. Next we have Cicinora. I've never heard a name like that. Cicinora. Interesting. Should I tell him I've never came? Oh, that's where we're going? Oh, I hope it's not lagging for you guys now, because this is going to get interesting. I-27, female, have been in two relationships, and none have ever made me finish. It makes me truly sad not being able to have that experience, although I've come very close. No pun intended. I'm dating a new guy, and I was wondering if it's a bad idea to disclose that I've never finished before. Will it make him work harder? Okay. My advice to you, Cicinora, truthfully, tell him that you've never finished before. Good. Why? Two things. If he's actually interested in you, this becomes a challenge now. The fact that you've been in relationships and the whole relationship you've never been able to finish with the guy, now he's thinking to himself, if I can make her finish, I'm the man. It's good. It's good to challenge, man. It's good. It's good. Especially because this challenge, if he actually accomplishes it, helps and benefits you anyways. So that's good. Tell him. Also, it's good to communicate that. Listen, the worst thing you can do in this situation, Cicinora, and I don't know if you've been doing this in your past two relationships, please do not fake it. Do not fake it. Do not fake it. Ever. Why? It doesn't help you or him. He needs to actually have a real legit understanding of what you like, where your spots are, what the pressure is, what the sensitivity is, how fast to go, how slow to go, what the pace is. Like, he needs to have a real idea of how to get you there. He can't do that if you're not honest with him or you start faking it, because he's going to get an idea that the way to get you there is not the way to actually get you there. Okay, so do not fake it, but definitely tell him that you haven't finished before. It's a good way to motivate him to be like, I want to be different than all these other guys, and I want to do what all these other guys have not been able to do. It's like a challenge. You don't have to say, I hope you can possibly get me to finish. Just say, in all my relationships, no guy has ever been able to get me to finish. Ooh, challenge to you, man. Are you a big, strong man? Do you have what it takes, big, strong man, to get me there? And he'll think to himself, I am a big, strong man. You know I got this, baby girl. You know I know what to do. And then guide him, okay? Because some guys might not necessarily know how to do it. Some guys get all excited, when they hear, oh, it's about to happen. I'm about to go. It's about to happen, right? They get all excited, and then they go faster, or they go harder, or they do more pressure. When in reality, all you mean is do the exact same thing you've been doing at the exact same pace. You have to guide him, okay, and be patient with him. All right. So that's my advice to you. Next we have here. Let's see. Let's do one more. We have E. Okay. Oh, E's is long. E's is so long. Okay. Let's do E's. Let's see here. Okay. E says always an option, but never the choice. 24-year-old female, I met this 28-year-old guy on Hinge. I was looking for a photographer and I wanted him to take my pictures, but he showed interest in me and getting to know me, and we talked for a few weeks before seeing each other in person. He never asked to take me out on a date because he had to be in Chicago the following week with his friends, since they're all photographers and needed money for the trip. After 3 weeks, he invited me over to his house and I went. And I ended up staying longer than I expected. We had pineapples after the 4th or 5th day. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'd been over there, mistake I know, but every time I tried to leave, he didn't want me to leave. So what does that mean? What are you trying to say? That you didn't have a choice? What does that really mean? After we had it the first time, he sat me down to express his thoughts and said he wishes he wishes we would have waited to have pineapples. This is so sad. This is truly so sad. You want to know why this is so sad? Because it speaks to what I talked to you guys about before. One of the most painful feelings is actually liking a girl and being interested in her, only to sleep with her right away because of how much that kills your desire for her. There's a quote that my friend posted online that he reposted on his close friends, and all my friends were like, yo, this is facts. The quote goes, sleeping with a girl you really like on the first date or the first night is like unaliving your dog. And it's true. Because when you really like someone, the most painful realization for a guy, the most painful realization is the realization that I'm no longer motivated to get to know you because I've already slept with you. And this is exactly what's happened here. I think that's why he wishes he would have waited, because he actually felt like he liked you. And gave me the rundown about his exes and past relationships and what he's looking for in the next one. I also explained that I also did OF. That came out of nowhere. I apologize. I was not emotionally prepared for that. Let me collect myself. And he told me how having a partner with OF bothers him and tried complimenting me to compensate his pity for what I do. I told him it's my money. It should be my choice how I make my money. Not to say OF is my only option. I just have a goal to achieve. Okay. And that I could deactivate it if we ever became serious. And I gave him reassurances. Okay. In this week or so, we were together. He took me to his friend's house to be with him, and they did their little video treatments and would even cuddle, grab, and he would even cuddle, grab, and kiss me in front of them all. He also brought me to his mom's, and for some odd reason, he added me to his close friends on IG. That's the odd part. He wanted to spend more time with me, so he drove me everywhere with him. For example, DoorDash. My DoorDash deliverer pulls up with his girlfriend. I'm going to assume he busted a nut on my meal, and I'm going to send it back ASAP. Why are you pulling up with your girlfriend? Sounds like you're doing some freaky stuff. I know you probably weren't, but just makes me feel weird. I let him use my car once. What's happening here? What's happening now? I'm confused here. Okay. See, you were speaking English earlier, E. Now I'm a little bit why is he using your card to do DoorDash with me? Because his headlights didn't work at night. And I mentioned he wanted to be able to, and he mentioned he wanted to be able to have money for his trip. Okay. Even wanted me to be with him while he does shoots with other muses. He would also post us together pretty often. Okay, so it sounds like he's really invested in you. Okay, good for him. Night before he had to leave to Chicago, he asked me to help him pack, so I stayed to help him pack. He must love you. He wanted head before he got up to get ready to leave, but I didn't want to give it to him because first off, I had just woke up, and at the time I didn't realize what I was there for, which led me to be confused as to why he would throw a tantrum every time I said no. I'm going to reserve my comments. Okay. So he told me to leave because he didn't like how I was acting. I didn't catch up with him until about 2 to 3 days after he left. I hadn't heard from him. Turns out he went to Chicago not only with his friends, but also with the stripper OF girl. I'm not laughing at you, E. I'm laughing at the situation. To make content with her. I didn't even read the second part. I thought he was a photographer. What happened to the photographer? He's a photographer. What type of pictures he be taking? Okay, wait. E, you sneaky. What type of photography session was this? What type of pictures was he taking of you? Because when I was thinking photography, I thought you was just posing in a nice dress or something like that, taking pictures of the fit or something like that. Were you even clothed for this photography session? For these pictures? Because now I'm starting to think maybe you weren't clothed for this. And he's that type of photographer. Huh. The cameraman hops in. I don't know if I've seen that one before where the cameraman, he becomes the star as well. Huh. Okay. So he's making content with her. Also turns out she's a part of their friend group. Wow. But in California, while me and him and his friends were together, but in California, while me and him and his friends were together, I never stalked, by the way. He posted all their whereabouts and what they were doing on his close friends. Them in her bed, fresh after pineapples, her dancing on him on her pole. Okay, E, I know we're not done here, but I'm trying to okay. See, this is the tricky thing. You want a guy that will accept you for what you do and how you live your life because it's your choice, right? However, if he accepts you for what you do and how you choose to live your life, he also accepts how other girls like you choose to live their life. So if you have a guy that likes girls like you, while that's good for you, it also means that he likes girls like you. I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but why are you surprised that the guy who likes you, you're an OF girl, likes to hang out with more OF girls? And those other OF girls are super cool with casually having pineapples with no commitment, doing whatever they want to do. I understand for you, and I'm not here to judge you or tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing or if it's right or wrong. I understand for you, you say, look, I'm still a lady. I can stop it if I want to stop it. I only do it for money. And even though it's money, it's not really about the money. I could do whatever I want to do. Cool. But I also want you to understand that there's lots of other OF models who may be doing this and not have the same morals as you. Maybe you're better than them. I don't know you. I say that to say, this should not be a shocker to you that after he accepts you, posts you, hangs out with you, treats you well, despite you having an occupation that a lot of guys would have an issue with, Don't be surprised that he also enjoys spending time with other girls who do the same thing as you. It's not, this is, it's very easy to fall into the trap of feeling like you're special to someone because it's you. When in reality, you have to step outside of yourself and realize that what someone will accept from you, they will accept from other people too. Which is why it's always important to present yourself in the most respectful fashion. That the only way, if he's attracted to you despite having to work hard for you, then you know that's who he is. If he's attracted to you because of how easy it is to get you, then you also know that's who he is and that's what he's about. Okay, that's the best way for me to say that. Okay, let's continue. I never stalked. He posted all their whereabouts in bed fresh after pineapples, her dancing for him on the pole. This is the only way I know. And he also reposted a video that she posted of him choking and kissing her. What are you expecting though? I'm confused here. What are you expecting? This is all going on while he's back in our hometown and he's still ignoring me. They came back from Chicago, went public, and lived happily ever after in their relationship since. It's been about 5 months now. I butt dialed him. Let's be so for real. You butt dialed him or your Squirtle dialed him? Like let's be for real. You ain't butt dial him. Just like let's all come to this and be for real with each other in our situations. It's okay if you liked him and you missed him and you just called him. Like, don't be saying you butt dialed on an iPhone, assuming you have an iPhone. Come on. I butt dialed him last week and he texted me saying, leave me alone. I'm engaged. Engaged to his OF stripper model. Okay, okay, E, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this because don't say this like, oh, look, he with his OF stripper model, as if now it's poo-poo to be an OF stripper model, okay? Because when it was you who was the OF girl that he needed to accept, it was all about, I do what I want. I have a goal to achieve. I could deactivate it if we ever became serious, right? There's a lot of justifications. So don't say it as if the people who do OF or stripper models are less than you if this is what you do. But when it's you, it's justified. When it's someone else, they're an OF stripper model. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm all for being non-judgmental and I'm all for everyone being able to live their life how they want to live their life. But if you're doing it, don't poo-poo other people who do it just because she got picked and you didn't. That's hate. I don't like that. I don't like that type of energy, okay? I got to keep it like 100 with you. I don't like that type of energy. Keep it the same energy you have for yourself. Keep that same energy, okay? I didn't even mean to call him. Seems like he just wanted a reaction. I'm puzzled because he dragged me for having an OF and tried to discourage me and explained how he doesn't want his partner's secret talents or body parts on the internet, but he started screwing some stripper. See, I don't like this. I really don't like this. And I gotta be real with you, E. This is hate. Because the way you're talking about his girl as if she's less than you, I don't like that. Because when it was you wanted to be accepted. And you had a lot of justifications for what you're doing. And I even said, I don't judge you for that. And I don't judge this other girl either. But it sounds a lot like you're judging her for what she does when you do the same thing, except maybe yours is less than hers because you're not a stripper. But then started screwing some stripper and now on OF making corn with her. And then lastly, the craziest of all. So he's doing the same thing as you. He's an OF person too. And then the craziest of all, made her his girlfriend. Question, why do men always put themselves with the women they trash and degrade? Question 2, how does a confident, healed, and secure individual deal with the aftermath of the situation? By the way, your working knowledge is outstanding. Good luck on your coaching journey. Can't wait until you write a book. Thank you very much. E, I do want you to understand, regardless of the fact that you're here with me in the Players Club, we have conversation and all that good stuff. While I want to help you and help solve your situation, I'm not going to BS you. So I'm going to call you out if I think that your approach is off. This whole thing where you're talking down on the other girl, oh, you know, she's a OF stripper and, you know, he's making corn with her. What's this guy on? I don't like that. I don't like that. And I don't think that's right, especially for the position that you're in, that when it's you want to be accepted. Okay. My other thing is, in terms of this girl and what he does with this girl, based on what you said earlier, I know you said that he told you he poo-poos it and he doesn't like it and all that good stuff and he gave you a hard time about it. But you also went on to say how he would post you up, he was taking you out on trips, he was posting you on his story, he would cuddle you and grab you and kiss you in front of his friends. He added you to his IG. He would take you on door dashes with him. He would try and spend as much time with you as he possibly could. You have to understand, while he might have said he doesn't like it, clearly he didn't have a problem with it because he was hanging out with you. He was basically giving you boyfriend treatment. He was taking you everywhere, posting you all the time so people knew, like showing you off to his friends, all that stuff that a boyfriend would do. And the reason I say that is because I think his words confused you because his actions were telling you that he actually was interested in you, right? And this thing that happened in Chicago, I really think, if I was going to be super honest with you, I really think, to be honest with you, what actually happened here is the fact that he's accepted what comes with being with an OF girl. While he's accepted the things that he might not like so much, he's also accepted what he considers would be a benefit of being with a girl like that. And I think in his mind, the idea that, yeah, being with an OF girl means that she'll be on, you know, display for other guys and stuff like that, all that stuff that maybe he didn't like before. He also maybe came to the realization, but then, yeah, I also get to fulfill all my pineapple-y fantasies with her, get whatever I want whenever I want with her because she's an OF girl. I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's probably where his mindset began to shift towards to, right? I can have lots of fun, do all the stuff that I've been wanting to do and never have to hold back because she's an OF girl and she's more open to any of that type of stuff. So when you kind of got on your high horse and were like, oh, you know, he wanted head before he got up and stuff like that, and then you were like, no. And then you were like, nah, I'm not doing that or whatever. He kind of was like, well, thinking to himself, I'm being super honest with you from a guy's perspective. So don't take this offensively. In my own opinion, he probably was thinking to himself, well, why the heck am I with an OF girl if I'm still going to be going through the same things that regular guys would be going through who are dating regular girls? The whole point of me being with an OF girl is that she's down for anything, anytime, anywhere. I didn't get with an OF girl that I can be arguing with her about getting some head in the morning. I didn't get with an OF girl that she would be telling me no when I ask for something pineapple explicit. You get what I'm saying? And I think that realization in his mind was that what am I actually benefiting from this relationship now? Because I have a girl that is doing the thing that I don't like, but I don't even get the benefits of the fact that she does that thing. It's like you're an OF girl who has the personality of the girl next door. So it's like he has the negative of being with an OF girl. Not that it's a negative, but like I'm just saying he has the negative of being with an OF girl, but he doesn't get the positive of being with an OF girl. He gets the negative part of being with like a girl next door, like a private, regular girl that might say no to just giving head randomly in the morning. That's not as ready to have fun whenever and wherever. You get what I'm saying? And so I think that realization is what led him to the decision that you're probably not the one for him. And if he is going to sacrifice, if he is going to be with the OF girl, then he's going to have all the fun he can possibly get being with a OF girl. and not ever have to get said no to, not ever have to worry about you not wanting it or you guys not being on the same page as it relates to pineapples. Okay. And so I think that realization is what pushed him towards the other girl, who was probably, I don't know her, I don't know you, was probably a little bit more fun and more open, like he was imagining an OF girl would be, versus you, who kind of wanted to stand your ground. You wanted to have a little bit more morals. You wanted to kind of show him that you like mean business and stuff like that. The problem is, unfortunately, that was not what he was looking for from you based on the person that you are. Okay? Not say whether that's right or wrong. I'm just helping to give you an understanding of why he might have went about it that way. Okay? Now, your second question as to how does a confident, healed, and secure individual deal with the aftermath of the situation? I think, E, you need to make a decision, because I feel like you have a bit of an identity crisis going on. The reason I say that I think you might have a bit of an identity crisis going on is because you're saying here, you're talking about he's engaged to his OF stripper model as if she's not worthy or she's less than. Then you talk about he's screwing some stripper now on OF, making corn with her. What are you doing on OF? Okay. You're upset now because your photographer friend, buddy, guy, is doing the same thing as you now? Why do you feel a way about him doing the same thing that you've been doing? You didn't think it was fair when he was judging you for what you were doing. Now you're judging him for what he's doing. And I get that part of the reason you're upset is because of how he was judging you first, right? I get that. But I also want to point out how this speaks to a little bit of an identity crisis, because you seem to be disassociating who you are from what other people are doing. And it seems like, obviously this is just a message, but it seems like you feel like what they're doing, especially the other girl, is less than you or on a level lower than you, that she shouldn't be someone that this guy even wants to be with. As if you and this girl are different. When in reality, for the most part, you do the same thing. This is not to diss you. I just have to be honest with you. And so that's why I say there's a little bit of disassociating going on, because it's like you're disassociating what you do with what that girl does, as if you deserve more than her, or you're better than her, or the guy that is going to date her should want to date you before he wants to date her. And the fact that he would date her and do all this stuff with her makes no sense to you. So in terms of healing from the situation, I think you need to start discovering who it is that you are and actually want to be, because it doesn't seem like you're quite secure in the person that you represent now, which is why you're taking a poop on another girl who does essentially the same thing as you. Because if you truly didn't have a problem with what you were doing and didn't have any identity crisis, there would be nothing wrong with what she does. It wouldn't be, but he started screwing some stripper OF girl. It would just be, oh, he's with another girl now that does OF. I can always tell, even in the way someone texts, like, obviously, like, it's kind of like an expression of emotion right here, what you said. And I can tell that you don't like the fact that you think this girl isn't someone that is representative of a wife. Why should he be showing her off? Why should he be making a girlfriend out of a girl that does this? But then what are you? Not to diss you. I just need you to understand this is part of the things you need to be thinking about when you're thinking about how to heal from the situation that you don't find yourself in again. Because this identity crisis is going to make it very difficult for you to date people the right way. Right? You can't have both sides of the coin. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the girl next door that is respected and treated accordingly and cherished and appreciated and given good girlfriend treatment? Or do you want to be the OF girl, which is fine, but you're much more likely to get disrespected and be people to want to take advantage of you because of what you do? You have to accept that as a reality, because we always talk about your approach is going to change the response you get from people. So if you don't like the response you're consistently getting from people because of what you do, there's some decisions to be made now. Because it's okay if you like being OF girl and you like the response you get from guys and you like the way your life is, that's fine. I'm happy for you if you're happy for you. But if you don't like the response you're getting from guys or the treatment you're getting from guys, and you want them to approach you a different way or give you a different response, well, then you have to look inward on how you can project outwardly a different type of energy that will elicit a different response from those men. Okay, E? So I hope that makes sense. And like I said, I wasn't trying to diss you. I wasn't trying to talk down on you. If you're happy, I'm happy. It doesn't matter what you do. It's your life. But I do want to make it clear to you, if you're asking me for my advice, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to BS you. Okay. And I'm also going to call you out if I feel like some of the energy you have or the things you're saying are a little bit misguided. Okay. Because that's the only way I can actually help you. All right, E. So that was the show for today. I hope you guys got something from that. So if you guys have a question for me that you want to ask and you want us to discuss on the show, please feel free to go into the Discord. If you're on TikTok, just go to the link in my bio and you can ask your question. If you're on YouTube, just go into the YouTube description at the bottom and you can find the link to that as well. Okay, so for those of you who want to just see everything I'm doing all the time and get to know me better, you can hop onto my Instagram. It's right there on the top left if you're on TikTok. If you're on YouTube, it's right there on the bottom right. And you can go on my Instagram and see everything that I do all the time. All right. If you also want, if you're on TikTok and you're like, this is the best show ever, I can't believe, look what we just watched. Look what we just listened to. This, I can't believe this even exists. I want to see more of this. Just hop onto my YouTube. You can either screenshot this or type my name into the search bar. And you can find my YouTube page with all of my live shows in the past with the TikTok and YouTube chat embedded into the video. So you'll always be able to keep up with all the amazing conversation from all of the beautiful women in the Players Club as well. All right. All right. So that's the show for today. I'm on every day, Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So whatever time that is in your time zone, that's what time I will be back again tomorrow for another show. Okay, so make sure you join me on time. I'll be on time. I've been on time for that show as well. All right. I love you so much. I care for you so much. So happy to spend this time with you. I will see you again tomorrow, where we'll have way more conversation about love, life, and relationships. Until then, goodbye, arrivederci, au revoir, all that good stuff. Bon voyage.